Hello everyone, Planttech, and welcome to part 2 of my tech comparisons related videos. This time we'll be covering sort of the latter half of the 110 I was going to cover and some 112 ones. So first up we've got Planttech, which focuses on technology and plants coming together, as well as adding a few dimensions. So what you want to do in the mod is start with a composter, and then from there you can get biomass, and after doing so, pretty much getting to the point of infusing metal with the biomass to make many things, such as sort of farm, modular, expandable stuff, to 3D printing, to getting energy from the sun in certain ways, making multi-blocks, 3D printing with the molds there. I never come across how it works myself, but it definitely details it in many of the instruction books you can see here that are all fairly in depth. There's enchanted books you can grow. There's a greenhouse of sorts, energy extraction from the sun, crossbreeding, which makes a very important use for the endgame dimension there compared to the sort of earlier one here. You want to use the infuser, metal extractor, and powderizer to make many different materials from these early plants you get from grass, similar to wheat seeds. You can then use those to make metals, to then make the multi-block structures, or certain tools that can level up as well. See here, just by using them. So you can make multi-block structures like so, which also have a single direction facing interaction block, and require a photon battery that you get from sun energy from these flowers here, and then an energy extractor to extract it. There's obviously many different methods of getting plant energy of sorts, or CE I should say technically, which is more cell energy I guess. Different resource trees as well are possible through the tree base injector, which is another multi-block structure. You can grow ores to get access to 4x4 of them. As you can see, I'm trying to grow some iron ore and just waiting for it to be overgrown before getting it. You also grow your machine shells and otherwise, which are major components for making certain, if I can find it, where is it, here we go. And after it's grown, you make your machines that you can see over there. Do some typical stuff. Anyways, I'll show off the dimensions so you can get an idea of what you'll be using for the 3D printing and otherwise, or just other things to access. So this is another like one, and upon getting many of these different ores here, you get certain aspects from them you can then use in the multi-assembler for certain other stuff. I've never covered this stuff myself. You can also use a teleporter and a bunch of other aspects as well, 3D printing and otherwise, as well as also doing more larger scale, I think, growth methods of plants, which is what I'm pretty sure the sort of booster and cable and solar blocks are used for. Again, all detailed in many of these. I've never covered them myself because I've never quite understood them. Look at your 3D printing and other resource stuff here. Industrial farm, multi-assembler, a bunch of other stuff here, 3D ore plant printing, and so on. And then we'll go to the next dimension here, which is pretty much just filled with a few structures as well as many of the different plants added by the mod as well. So you get the coal grass here, as well as some of the others you typically get from your seeds you typically get from grass as well. So yeah. On to 112. Okay, in 1.12.2 we have about 3 or so that I'd like to cover. First we'll start off with Extreme Energy, which adds many typical machines, but the unique aspects about it is the fact that it has ground or current chunk sort of focused energy systems. So if I happen to take this high pressure crusher here, and you can see that there's voltage of 48, and if I happen to go over here to a completely different chunk, you can see it's 55. So instead of actually having it where you use RF, which you technically can, you can pretty much just have it so that you just place a block in the world and just get access to energy, and it'll just take that energy from that chunk and then use it for the machine like so over time. You can obviously convert static or field energy to RF if you wish, or convert it back and forth also, but you will need a fair amount of it for certain things like assembling many of your core aspects, to make many of the different machines and generators that you can see here, as well as making things like nuclear TNT, nuclear bombs, nuclear reactors, certain uses of electricity, and so on. Now, you do want to be careful when starting the mod, since you do have a ton of crystals that are including RF, and can also deplete your energy if you're not careful. So you might want to have a battery on hand of sorts, but otherwise there is also a chance of lightning as well to strike if you're not careful with the mod. So yeah, keep that in mind. And the end goal is mostly just a bunch of implants along with some armor. Next we have AwesomeCraft, which is pretty much just a mod that if you want more simpler uses of machines and transportation of stuff, definitely a mod to pick up. Just adds a generator, a fuser, charger, grinder, electric furnace, and teleporter. Bunch of tools, bunch of components, a few other things as well, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you just want a simpler tech mod, definitely a mod to go with, and not having all the extra aspects to it. And finally we have Biota, which is a combination of flowers and technology. Now you want to use flowers in a way for either just dyes, or you can use them for certain other specific things. So if you go along with the, get to it, the actual wiki page. Yes, I want to go to it, please. I need to go to recipes real quick. You use a bunch of the different flowers for different things, such as certain ingots, tool rods, potions, and a fair amount of other stuff, and then eventually getting access to a dimension, activation rods, converting certain stuff, and interacting with other aspects of the world as well. And then using certain machines and generators to accomplish certain things, such as digging stuff sort of out of nowhere or out of the ground, certain armor, and a bunch of other stuff, as you can see here. I've already covered these in a few videos, so if you want to see those you can. We'll cover the dimension obviously, which does change across a few versions. So one time it was more nether focused one. This end result one is more a end one with a bunch of trees. The earlier version was sort of a lot more smaller patches of these islands. So you can see a bunch of trees and other aspects here, and a few islands. There is possibly a few mobs, mostly more vanilla related. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that though, thanks for watching, and goodbye.